Good evening, friends and family. I'm so honored and so moved to host tonight's Power to the Poets. On Saturday, the whole world celebrated with the United States of America after we've done what seemed to be impossible. We came together and chose the next person who will lead our country. We sent a strong message to the world that Black lives, Indigenous lives, LGBTQ plus lives, women's rights, climate change, healthcare for all, and immigrant rights matter, which means our power lies in our compassion. Congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Thank you so much to the poets and artists who have been part of Power to the Poets for lending your voice in support of racial justice and our campaign to get out the vote. And now Georgia is in the house. Please welcome civil rights activist Karen Bryant Shipp.
Good evening. I'm Karen Shipp, and I am broadcasting from the ancestral lands of the Muskogee people here in Georgia, what is now called Decatur, Georgia. I wanted to start just by saying what I am celebrating. But first I have to say what I'm not celebrating. I'm not celebrating the achievement of all of our hopes and dreams. I'm not celebrating as though we had reached any kind of promised land. What I am celebrating is that everything is being uncovered, revealed in such a way that those of us who were indoctrinated into whiteness, who were trained not to look, not to see, find ourselves unable to turn away. I'm celebrating that none of us can go back to business as usual, no matter what the pandemic does or doesn't do. I'm celebrating the anger of my Black, brown, indigenous siblings. I'm celebrating this opportunity for us white folks to step up to the plate, step up to the front, step into the line of fire. I'm celebrating most of all that love is power and that the earth is resilient. So in that spirit, I have a prayer of love to the earth, and I will follow that by a song by musical activist Melanie DeMore. Prayer of love to the earth. Grandmother, you are the source of my being. You are all my strength and power. When I attend to you, when I sit with you and listen, there is no end to your stories, to the life that crawls across your face, ants and spiders all busily gathering, buffalo grunting through the tall grasses, deer curious to know what I am sitting there so still. No end to the blowing of the wind as it curls inside my ears. No end to the authority of thunder and brilliance of lightning, to the mystery of your turning from day to night and back again. The sun cresting the horizon as if for the very first time, reminding me of the sacred in every moment. I hear you, grandmother, always calling. Even though I forget you, you do not forget me. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter where you go, No matter where you've been, you'll never walk alone. I'll hold you deep within. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. No matter what you feel or what you choose to show, I'm always there for you. So I want you to know I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I walk the path with you. Go slow, dear one, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need to go. There is no need to worry, for I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love.
Thank you so much, Karen. That's just so beautiful. Before I introduce our next guest, I'd like to thank my friend Jen Maceta for connecting us. I'm delighted to welcome educator and Councilmember-elect of Hercules, California, Tiffany Grimsley.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful experience. And, I just want to take time to acknowledge everyone here and all of those who participated in the process this year. We did a remarkable thing in getting out to vote, encouraging others to vote, and letting the power of our voice be heard. So I'm just an applause for all of us. I had a difficult time deciding which one of my pieces I wanted to share. There was a piece that I wrote that a lot of people know about that I wrote right after the death of George Floyd. But what I'm going to share with you today is one that I wrote quite a while before that. And I think at this moment in time, in recognition of all the African-American women who have stepped up to serve in the political arena, I think this is pertinent. It's called Daughters of the Slave Trade. When you look in my direction, what is it that you see? Is it the slave or the master that you see most in me? Dark skin diluted by the master's might, freckled face tells the tale of her inability to fight. Daughters of the slave trade, for freedom we pray. Property of the master who demands that we stay, forever in a place second to him at best. Blind to the knowledge, it's in the Savior's arms we rest. We honor our mother, though slave you made her to be, for her beauty and brilliance are alive in me. She prayed and endured so that I might live a life of freedom that she could not give. And so I must trust that it's all part of the plan designed by God for the slaves of this land. Our resilience still tested by the powers that be, underestimating the strength of the slave in me. I will continue to fight and don her crown, her purpose fulfilled in the life that is me, and the daughters to come who will surely be free. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, good evening. I am Poetess April J. Armstrong. First, I do want to say thank you to Karen for that beautiful rendition, that beautiful voice of yours always. Thank you to Jen for the connection to bring us Councilmember-elect Tiffany Grimsley. We appreciate you, as well as Tiffany. Thank you for that poem. And Aileen, as always, thank you to my sister for the invite over to the house. You had to bring us all around. So as long as we all get a plate, we're all good here because that's how family rocks it. My poem, particularly, it speaks to the hope of love, the possibility of finding the one in time of political chaos, someone who you can ride the wave of change together. Open yourself to me. Will you allow me to entertain your mind where I can rest easy, freely, comfortably? Let me hold it in the palm of my hand, trace with my fingers every line of knowledge, acknowledge my presence beyond technicalities of physical rationalities, and mentally I will entice you, entrance you, entertain your mind me now, if you please, and understand words slipping from lips. Now your mind is contouring aside. I curve to every stroke, and conversations lie in mingling arms and cuddling legs, and welcoming, inviting they are. My legs know, my eyes, my third eye, drinking your image into my own dome. If you can't comprehend, then I shall lend this bit of info to you. See, I have you, tangible, able to reach out and touch you. Possessing your mind, then I have all of you. If you haven't heard, if you have the mind, then you have an entire person. Sex is not quarantine, but like an airborne disease. Will you allow me a chance at a mental romance? Releasing yourself to me tenderly. Can I be your lyric, strumming the chords of your mind? Or your justice, poetically rhyming wisdom in your ear? Don't be afraid to allow me inside. Don't be afraid to allow me. Don't be afraid to allow. Don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid. Don't be. Don't. I am Poetess April J. Armstrong, CEO of Black Love Poetry Series Network, where Black love is all love. I am also the host of Your Oral Diction Academy, airing live every Monday on Blog Talk Radio. You can find all of the family of Black Love Poetry Series on Blog Talk Radio, Zoom for Facebook Live, and now live on Roku television. We are in the house, and I have brought my family with me on a request of our sister, Miss Aileen Cassinetto. Again, thank you. First up, I do welcome to the mic, CEO himself, my partner in rhyme, my ride or live, Mr. Aquil Ali.
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing today? I love it when I'm hearing so far. My hope for the future that the atrocities that we went through as the people will be studied and rectified so it doesn't happen again. So I'm gonna give y'all this piece, taking us back 100 years. I call this Black Wall Street is burning. Forget your Jim Crow. We got everything we need and money flow. From bustling shops to our very own banks, giving our loans, allow me to put things in the proper perspective. It's 1921. The so-called Negro is finally getting respected. Their counterparts are starting to get the message. Black folks, Might this dude be doing better than them? So forget your whites only water fountain, friend. Segregation has taught us one thing. The black dollar is stronger than it's ever been. Circulating in the neighborhood for at least 45 days before a white hand could ever call it his pay. I can only imagine the jealousy that formed the KKK, despite all your oppression per se. Subtract my history. Taught to pray your way. Playgrounds brainwashed to be only wicked to me, and y'all know the rest. Instead of a humbling request to ask a black man to cut a check, they rather burn, pillage, wrap ropes around people's necks. Oh, this former oppressor couldn't swallow that pill. Looking at a black community's fine as Beverly Hills, so they looted and they burned the blacks up the railroad tracks, methodically invading this prosperous black community like rats. Oh, Black Wall Street is burning. Simply put, Black Wall Street was simply making too much cheese. Educating their children in better schools with ease, high stepping out of mansions, envied by the treacherous Klansmen, the greatest nightmare arrived, the greatest nightmare achieved. Perpetual wealth perceived by a slave. Oh, no way. City officials, get on the tape. Law enforcement was simply a disgrace. Insurance policies should have been written on toilet paper. Now, Mr. Charlie, the epitome of the green-eyed hater, cut the phone lines and telegraph wires, can't call for help later, bombing U.S. homes on American soil after the Buffalo Soldier sacrificed and toiled on the same battlefields overseas. Now they're shot up in these hometown streets over hatred and greed. Oh, it's raining bullets now. Machine guns in the airplanes in the clouds. Singes the smoke and the burning flesh, singes the nose of this incredible beast. Killing men and women and children in their sleep. This is even beyond Willie Lynch's cup of tea. This is the devil himself coming to visit. It's the greatest lie told that he doesn't exist, isn't it? Meanwhile, the newspapers downplayed the death total to 29, knowing it was in thousands, not to mention reporting that the niggas are rioting and burning up their own damn houses. My friends, Black Wall Street is burning. No right arrests were ever made. Newly homeless blacks hide behind barricades. Concentrations made for the victims of the aftermath. Then putting salt to the wound, watching the perpetrator wear their meats on their backs. Then word comes while some are hiding in the woods. There is no more neighborhood. Over 600 homes gone for good. 21 churches burned. There is no more Greenwood. No one's returning because Black Wall Street is burning. In peace.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. I appreciate you. You can find Mr. Ali as well on Black Love Poetry Series Tuesdays, the Aquil Ali Show, with his favorite little chocolate drop right here, Poetess April J. Next up on the mic, I am so happy to welcome him back to be here with family once again, Mr. Bernard Collins, poet extraordinaire, artist phenom in the background. Love to have you on the mic. Welcome tonight.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm so thankful, man. I'm just so thankful to be here. Man, I'm so thankful to everybody who came out and voted and made their voice known and used their power. Use their power. There's so much to write about, man. So much to write about and so much to discuss. I learned something in this election, and that was that power of that ballot and that power of that mail-in ballot. And that's something to reflect on in the future, and I hope we take advantage of that for a lot of reasons. You can't stop the mail. the mail don't stop. So that's the thought. But this is, so I'll just jump into it because I don't want to take everybody's time up too much. But I'll start with Black Rose, Black Rose. She wore a black rose in her hair, milk chocolate skin, smooth like wet soap or a river throwing rocks. Her features spoke of a new beauty. I overheard her speaking proudly of a desire to dance and audition. Eyes fixed on that beautiful black rose, locked in a timeless state of blooming, indifferent to the sun, born from the hands of mankind. Imagination was the soil. Guess I was the bee that pollinated this poem. One glance was the spring. I picture her twirling with that black rose in her hair, center stage, sweating proudly, the spotlight warm in her flesh. Her soft brown flesh, her parents tensing every muscle, waiting for the grand finale, encouraging their families. Black rose, black rose, black rose, black rose. For every black woman and child and every black girl out here. Congratulations to our vice president, our vice first female black vice president. It's a beautiful thing. Second piece, trains. It's for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, our president, he loved him some trains. So this is my train poem, right? What is it about trains? All my life I've ridden trains. I'm from Philly, by the way. Born and raised in Philly, South Philly. Absolutely rode the subway train to and fro, like, you know, going to the store, going to school, going to college, going back and forth, always trains. This is trains. Trains, what is it about trains? All my life I've ridden trains, holidays, regular days, paydays, birthdays, good days, bad days, trains, piss scented, subways, people running late, angry at the train they miss, angry cause the boss gonna be pissed, trains. Brakes begin screeching as the train arrives at its stop. Philly blunt guts piled on the floor between peculiar smelling seats. Key scratch nicknames on plexiglass windows just to get recognized, but recognized by who? Who to say they even ride the same subway car you do? Trains. Used to climb underneath the turnstile when I was a child. Spent the change that I saved on Mike and Ike's and other junk till I was old enough to know better, big enough to get stuck. I used to catch the train to the other side of town to see that teenage love I once found, and skin smooth and brown like a chocolate shake. My God, I used to like to watch that chocolate shake. I didn't care how many trains I had to take. Now we had love to make. Trains rolling in the train stations where impatient folks sits waiting. School children chattering, sort of splattering on the floors of cars. Party people stumbling home from bars. Catching trains is better than driving, more chance of surviving. Pickpockets seeking crowded cars filled with so-called innocent riders. The chunky pockets fat with corporate capitalist cash. A bump, a grab, an innocent look, an apology. Into the next car, con man must dash. An undercover cop salivates as he anticipates such an act. Soon the thief is surrounded, his plans are shattered, but the train is intact. Young couples tongue wrestle in the back, invisible in the eyes of their passion, both dressed in ghetto fabulous fashion. A young mother smacks her child for standing in the seat. A young man stands in front of the door, Walkman torturing his innocent eardrums as he stands patiently tapping his feet to the beat. Maybe it's hip hop, maybe it's rock. It really doesn't matter. I got to get off now. The train just rolled into my stop. Trains. That's trains. So yes, filled with hope, filled with thankfulness. God is good. God is good. And putting in the work is also good.
Love it, love it. Thank you, Mr. Bernard Collins. Before you mute your mic, can you quickly tell everybody where we can find you, if you don't mind?
Oh, I'm on Facebook. You can check me out on Facebook. I'm Nard Pics. That's my Instagram. I'm excited. We have something coming up. You know, I'm gonna show some work with you. So I'm always at it. Always painting. Always teaching. I also teach at Fleischer Art Memorial in Philadelphia. So I teach art classes there, and I teach art classes around. I do paintings like this lovely painting of my family here. So that's my life.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate the pieces. Phenomenal, powerful as usual. And yes, find Mr. Bernard himself on November 23rd as a guest on Your Oral Diction Academy when I am able to have my first art gallery with Kendra Miller, the Fine Arts Appraiser Ambassador to Genius is Common movement. And that's what we're going to keep this thing going, a movement. Yes, congratulations to our new president-elect and our new VP. Great that we all got out there to go ahead and vote. It was a spectacular morning for me, cold, but I stood in those lines no matter what happened. Voting machines went down 30 minutes after going in, but still had the scanning of the votes, got my South Carolina vote stickers. So I am excited, just like I am sure this phenomenal gentleman who is coming up next on the mic. He is bringing his powerful poetry on politics tonight as well. Allow me to introduce none other than Cole Larry Eubanks.
It's great to be here. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. In a word, I'm feeling deep relief on a primal level. So that's it. Relief. Now I believe when meeting people, especially for the first time, and it's about half the people here I've never met. When I meet people for the first time, I think it's very important for me to have a smile on my face as a gesture of goodwill and greeting. However, not long ago, I had my jaw removed, making smiling and perfect pronunciation structurally difficult. So I'd like to apologize for my face and in advance and let you know I'm smiling internally and extremely happy to be here and to witness your beautiful faces and poetry. My poem is: in the easy current of a late spring breeze, I am staining my deck, the only good application of that verb, preserving, protecting, restoring. Every viscous brushstroke, surprising soft symmetry of wood grain, arriving at a knot only to flow parallel again on the other side, like calligraphy of angels. My reverie interrupted by the drone of a neighbor mower. I choose instead to hear songbirds singing the same tune for millennia, unrivaled by Mozart or Mendelssohn. Listen closely. Each singer has a different signature. Mockingbird, the Sonny Rollins of Birdland, sings everyone's identity, but always loops back to his own. When I walk closer to the forest, catbirds cry out in alarm because humans are lethal. Even mourning doves realize we are unnatural. The sputtering to silence of the mower reveals the hum of a bee, like a ticket taker on a train, moving from bloom to bloom. Blossoms, hearing that buzz, lean in, sweetening nectar. Look at her legs encrusted with gold like an insect goddess. Little girl, I missed you. I hope you're healthy. I hope I grew my flowers well enough. And when you return to the hive, I hope you dance. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Aileen.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cole. I appreciate you for being here. Did you have another piece that you like to share?
Oh yeah, sure, certainly.
Okay.
This is personal as well. I kind of misread the theme, but this is personal hopefulness for me in my life. Feeling the descent of the anvil of depression, I flee to the woods, giving thanks to the sun for blessing us this day. Following my therapy, I recognize gratitude to deflect negative thoughts. I am thankful for my wife and all wives, a word that rhymes with lives for a reason. Thankful for my children, for whom I must be strong in case they are not. Thankful to the cashier who gives me her most Mona Lisa in the market. Thankful for my poodle, who is the personification of love. That's right, personification. In the forest, my therapist would find it revealing choosing the darker path. Overhead, a red tail patrols on her mission of elimination. I immediately identify with the squirrels. From a converging trail, I sense familiarity with a man who draws closer in a dark suit, white shirt, and blue tie. Can it be my father in decades-old coffin clothes? He pulls me into a surprise embrace, and I lean back, holding his eyes. Am I really 5 years his elder now? How is it possible I have lived that long? We stopped by the lake to skip stones, like when he was older and alive. He beats me. Tell me your secret, I say. Just select thoughts, rocks, that want to work for you, and don't take it as personal when they sink. It is their nature, and they are plentiful. In the clearing, people thought the two old men were in love because they were holding hands, and they were right.
Fantastic. Love it. Mr. Eubanks, before you mute your mic, can you tell everyone where to find you, please?
Facebook, Cole Larry Eubanks on Facebook.
Fantastic. Make sure to place that in the chat. Thank you. And to let you know, you said we can't see you smiling, but through those two poems, you are doing nothing but smiling, young man. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. Next up on the mic, I have the pleasure of bringing this gentleman, announcing him. He is a poet and author, and he is making great waves and moves through the poetry community. Stand up and recognize this gentleman, Ambition, the poet.
Wow. Thank you so much for the introduction. Salutation to all the important people, all the people in high places and all that. As you know, I am the Diddy of poetry. My name is Ambition, the poet. I speak on behalf of the foster kids, and I'm glad that Biden is in and all that good stuff. But the fact of the matter is that we still have to be important. We still have to understand what our individual missions are. And so as Black people and people of indigenous, you have a design purpose. Mine is foster children. Someone else's may be domestic abuse. Someone else's may be sex trafficking. We have our own missions. And with all due respect to the powerful seat of the presidency, they cannot help us in the middle of North Philly. They can't help us in the middle of the West End or Atlanta. We have to do some things ourselves and not look for politicians to help us, but to understand that we have power within ourselves. Let me get to my piece if y'all don't mind. Well, I hated foster care. It felt like an Airbnb app for the poverty kids, except for you can't give 5 stars to abusive parents. You can't give tips to a roach-infested house. I hated my used clothes. You can still smell the 6 people that wore it before me. It was something about hand-me-downs. You can still feel the disappointed souls that cried on the collar. You are now listening to the stories of the foster children. I do this for the foster kids who miss their mothers in lonely houses that hope that warm memories could become the North Face coat to cover the frozen lump that they call heart. I do this for the foster kids who say they see locks on the refrigerator. See, something to eat is very impossible. Some kids decide to steal food when they see their lunch and pudding being locked in the prison. I do this for the foster kids whose backs had too many visitation by belts, broomsticks, and hangers. Where DIFAS had to throw red flags on houses because some parents can't tell the difference between discipline and assault cases. See, I do this for foster kids who get lured away from group homes. So I cry out through these poems because if she doesn't find her self-worth, then her skeleton will find it comfy in the wood and furniture that's buried in the cemetery. See, I do this for the foster kids who are girls that were sex trafficked. They've been missing for years, but nobody cares. I guess when you say thousands, people only care when you're talking about money, but not humans. I do this for the foster kids who's in your hood right now, where gangs recruit when they're disowned. I would join the streets too if my mom kept telling me she cares more about her boyfriend than my existence. I do this for the foster kids in the houses when the sun goes down. There's a predators who hands that can't stop trespassing below her belly button. I do this for the foster kids who live at the border. How was they supposed to know that their parents was trying to make it to the United States? I wonder if it would make a difference if it was our kids who had to look at prison fences instead of wallpaper. I do this for the foster kids who need therapy because they have the front row tickets to filling the creepiness in the house when a duffel bag had crossed that threshold. See, I do this for the foster kids who never had a moving truck but could tell you what it's like to have their whole life carried in the trash bag. Yo, I do this for the foster kids that was like me, things turned out great, but we still have to get our self-confidence down from a noose that hangs from our family tree. That was me. This could have been your friend. This could have been your co-worker. This really could have been your cousin. I had to do this poem because in certain poetry venues, they don't talk about this. So it's my job to tell those people I love them. I do this for the foster kids. Thank you so much, guys.
Ooh, yes, sir. Powerful. Doing it for the foster kids. I have to ask, do you have a second piece, Ambition?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind, I could just talk a little, trash. Some people, because of my foster care poetry, Aquil Ali, what's good out there? I kill, some every now and then people be talking, just a little bit because I guess because of foster care poetry, they considered me trash when I first was coming on the scene. So if you don't mind, if I just address those people real quick, Poetess, April, which one of these poets that said that I was trash? I'm the herpes to linguistics. That's what happens when an unprotected mind have sex with a new language. Which one of these poets that said that I was trash? I'm the fell Ritalin on the IEP that a school psychologist suggested. I'm the side effect of open mic listeners who thought that goosebumps was coming from my words, but that was my words and printing standards and brown on the back of their neck. I said, which one of these poets that said that I was trash? I'm the kid that they bullied in South Jersey. Welcome to the burbs, where I learned how to cut teachers' feelings and classmates who didn't think I was as sharp as the blade on the bottom of lawnmowers that I hated using. Which one of these poets that said that I was trash? This is what happens when they pull on the strings of my anger, that it had me create a poem that it aim at the character like testing the thermal conductivity of notebooks. How was I supposed to know that the ink was this flammable? Which one of these poets that said that I was trash? Stripper talk. My mouth is a bottle girl. Every poem that walks in my teeth is attractive to the mind. I mean, every time I speak, the words start to spark when it touches the atmosphere. Which one of these poets that said that I was trash? My mom, she keeps calling the crisis hotline. Hello? Hello? I think my son is trying to kill himself. Every time he performed by engulfing himself in his own flame, I said, which one of these poets that said that I was, you know what it is? It's because I don't come from the same hood as them. They think that my purpose is not valid, but I watched the devil write an op-ed in the New York Times. He says, my demons don't give a hamburgers about what zip code you live in. Which one of these poets said that I was trash? I mean, what happened in the Philadelphia foster care system is what made me a Sicklerville, New Jersey mutant. See, what happened in the Philadelphia foster care system is what made me a Sicklerville, New Jersey mutant. So why would I be accepted in your poetry circle, right? No Geico, no State Farm. I've been called the accident my whole life, right? Which one of these poets that said that I was? Thank you so much, Aileen, for having me. That's all. I'm just excited.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ambition. Yes, which one of these poets? Which one of these poets? Ambition, really quick, can you unmute yourself, love, and let us know where we can find you?
You can find me, Ambition the Poet, on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and then Ambition the Poet Harper on Facebook, where's everybody, most of my followers are at. That's why I do a lot of my poetry, and you'll see a lot of foster care activism, and just helping people in the poetry community and workshops. So guys, please connect with me so we can work together and collab.
Thank you so much, love. Stand up for the foster kids, represent for Ambition the Poet. Next up on the mic, because I have the pleasure from Miss Aileen herself of being her co-host this evening, her partner, her in rhyme, her ride and live. I have the pleasure of announcing this gentleman who is usually bringing us the arts, but November 21st, you can find him on Facebook Live where he is bringing us the jams at the pajama party, which I'ma be at in my pajamas. Mr. Raymond Tyler.
Hello, hello, hello. Peace to everyone, and
Did we lose you, love? Uh-oh. There we go. We got to hear that voice. You got to unmute yourself. Got to hear the baritones tonight.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but yeah, tonight I'm also representing the Atlantic City Arts Commission, of which I am a member, and I'm going to be doing some exciting things with the arts, including curating a new project called Black Artists Matter as we go into 2021. So I'll be talking to a number of you about that. Yeah, and so the pajama party that is coming up, it won't be on Facebook. It'll be exclusively on Zoom, but you know, you don't want to hear that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We still want to hear it.
Let's get into some poetry. And here we go. As far as hopes, I don't have a lot of hope for my generation. We should have done better earlier. So my hopes and dreams are now looking toward the younger generation, the young people who are out there now with Black Lives Matter. So I wrote this particular poem for the survivors of the Stoneman Douglas school shooting, because I think that they're doing activism and hope right. This is a poem in 4 parts, so here we go. Part 1. Can you still hear me? Okay, part 1. They came to me and asked me to speak on hope. All I can say is that hope used in realistic, hope used in unfantastic doses, hope can be a miracle drug. But the generation I'm in, we have used hope by the barrel. We've misused it by the state full, misused it by the city full, and even put it in our education until today, you can't tell where the snake oil ends and where the hope begins. Part 2. The 21st century activists, the survivors of school shootings, understand there is no system we have in place today that will save you. You have to demand that gun control be put on the ballot. The system would rather keep you safe from abortion than from the NRA. When you survive a school shooting, you realize the respect card, long since been pissed all over. And then the politicians stuff it back in your shirt and offer thoughts and prayers for the lives of your classmates that will forever haunt your days, nights, hours, and minutes and seconds. That you are now working on living and helping and changing, but not hoping. Part 3. They came to me again and said, speak to us of hope, but give us something to smile about. I said, well, we good at being right at the wrong time for the wrong reason. We stopped fighting the justice system that classified us somewhere between the men that chained us and enslaved us and the mules that plowed their fields while we worked from sun to sun. We fell in love with politicians that came to our church and sang and tried to keep on beat with the choir. And then we put on our I voted button. We allow major sports teams to make millions in Philly, New York, and Baltimore. But somehow, more young men come out of prison ready for the world than they do high school. We missed our chance to be more important than footnotes, and we blame it on hope. So I hope that the new activists continue on more serious, more loving, more sober than us. Part 4. I went to the young activists and I set my old ass down and I said, young people, speak to me of hope. And she said, "Get your old ass up." She said, "All them years you carried our struggle on your back, get up." She said, "You've been fighting for gun control and for equity and for change since college students were attacking tanks armed with nothing but rocks and poems." She said, "Get your old ass up. If you breathing and walking and writing, we need you. There is no too old. There is no too young. There is no too black. There is no too straight. There is no too gay. There is no too fat. We can't change the past, and you can't either." Martin and Malcolm and Jackie Robinson will not be walking through that door. Hope is all of us working together to make room for everyone in the future, to love who you want to love, to be safe driving while black or gay, to define beauty in ways that do not choke your soul. So either you are part of the future or you are definitely part of the problem. That's that poem.
Love it, love it. 4 parts. You got everybody snapping and clapping on here, Mr. Tyler. Is that just your only piece, or did you have another piece to entertain us with?
I'll do a short piece. I mean, to me, that's the message that that we're gonna have to, this is what I'll say. Already, Joe Biden is not even in office yet, and I hear certain politicians throwing shade at like AOC, and it was the progressives that came out and held their nose because they didn't like Joe Biden at all, but they held their nose and they voted for him. And already they're like, well, the country is more moderate. So we got to ride with the young people. In my opinion, we either part of the future or we part of the problem. So hopefully, so this is a short one. And this is dedicated to my girl, Stephanie Renee, E. Saint, or Bernard Collins, Jill Scott, my good friend Trapita Mason, my man Askia Abdul Salam, and Rich Medina. People from Philly knows like all of these names. This is called The Truth. I'd like to hear it. Here it go. The truth is, knowing that the moon is a big rock, reflecting light back to Earth with no light of its own, makes it no less important. We still snatch it from the sky like some loose marble, putting it in one bad poem, song, dance, painting, expression after another. The truth is, we dance between what's real and what's real important. We bring to light the truth of how it really went down as opposed to how they say it went down on the news. See, we tell it like it is, like it heard, like it felt, like it smelt. Truth is, God is the ultimate artist, painting a big blue moon in the sky just because he's bad enough to do it. Just because he's bad enough to make it look so big that when you can barely touch that woman laying in your arms, you still reach for the moon, knowing it's a skillion miles away.
And congrats on that poem. Loving it. As long as it's 50 miles away, you still got to reach. My father used to tell me, shoot for the stars. If you don't land in the stars, at least you'll reach the moon. So you will always be out there and further than you think. Thank you so much for that piece. Of course, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, I'm going to be behind Aquil sweeping up afterwards. So if he's sweeping up after, I'm going to be sweeping up after the elephants after this is over. So no, you can find me on Facebook. I'm blessed to have a broadcast radio show on FM 106.5 WPPM in Philly. I'm blessed to be able to work with Aileen from time to time and with Black Poetry Network. I always mess that up, but you guys, and we're so happy to download the app on my Roku TV. So, you know, just look for me on Facebook. Go to Philly and shout in the street. They'll find me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond Tyler. Yes, I was mistaken. It will not be on Facebook Live, but RSVP to him for November 21st for the Pajama Jam of the season to round out 2020. That will be one highlight past our new president-elect and VP for 2020, because 2020 has been a tad bit disrespectful this year. But we're going to go out on a bang. That's what we know. And Aileen has already started it off with Power to the Poets. Thank you again, Aileen, for having us all here. Thank you for allowing me to be co-host for this pleasant evening again. And we're not going to stop this train from rolling, since we were talking about trains a little earlier, from Bernard Collins. Coming to the mic right now is my brother, the second half of the Baritones of Blog Talk, from the Flame Within, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Black Love Poetry Series. Welcome to the mic, Mr. Wispers.
Hey, how y'all doing? Wow, I'm just excited to be here. Happy to be here. Shout out to Aileen. Thank you for the corresponding with me online, trying to get me here, and I got here. I had to figure it out, but I got here. And to my brother and my sister and everyone that went before me. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I'm just over here and snapping and clapping. You know, my interpretation of change, where I'm from, they used to call that the slums, the lower class. You know what I mean? So that's what I got for you. I'm from the hood, where the young mothers juggle WIC, welfare, sex toys, and dope boys to manage. And the dope boys keep AR-15s that speak Spanish. Cámate, cámate. You can't mingle if you ain't bilingual. It's single bolt action parenting around here. It ain't safe. And the women brace it, they don't see their sons or their husband's face snitching on the first 48. Helicopters and choppers, the metal holler like rock wallers. Whoa, I gotta get up and go to work in the morning. And the yellow tape, it got me yawning because I'm tired of all the gunfire. My desire is to move, but the slavery is economic and it's atomic to your soul because you can't see it from the gate. And by the time you do, around here, it's too late. They say it's poor education. And the veterans and the elderlies are still working on 9 to 5 to pay for their medication. That's the code of the streets. The concrete is stained with juvenile blood. Show no love, they say. What? That's the code of the streets. The city never sleeps, even the creeps get crept on. You got to keep your whole mindset Teflon to survive around here. They say that weak people, they die around here. So to stay strong, keep your wind long. Wait, how do I crack the code of equality? It's probably locked in the vault in the Vatican's with the other 13 books of the Bible. I can't go to an ATM and punch in the code and get survival. But I'm liable to get shot for writing this poem. But I insist on inking it. I know I wasn't the only one thinking it, and I just might get blackballed. But before I do, I want to go to Italy and ask John the Pope is the code of the streets inside that black doll. Wait, maybe I'm too much of an intellectual. Is it true that King James was a homosexual? Who has the code? Somebody does. I think the true answer is love, but the whole city thrives on drugs. And the piss poor, they stay pissed off for nothing. And the young savages, they don't mind offing your on button for the code. The explosive explode. I don't care what y'all say. I think just maybe the code of the street is hidden under Donald Trump's toupee. And in my hood, we wear Air Force One shoes to stay fly. But the president, he gets to fly in an Air Force One helicopter with OnStar. So you think if we all got together and we bought enough pair of shoes, we get to fly with a porn star? I wonder how high can she reach? Probably about as high as a foreign wife in red-bottom stilettos still in Michelle Obama's inauguration speech. It doesn't take an ophthalmologist to see that that's the code of politics. Perhaps they'll even make a sun when her moon collapsed. The fact is that we don't exist. It's like we're all put on the blacklist, and it's a disgrace. I just want to get the code so I could get my personal life erased from social media. Then one day get this poem printed in an encyclopedia. I wonder, did they label me as slavery and my code is my social security number? How many slaves went under before they got over? I don't know, but for that wall and this virus, Donald Trump ain't never had the code. In peace.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you got everybody going crazy up in here, Whispers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Drop that second piece if you don't mind, sir.
This piece right here is where we are right now in the world right now. See, the day is going to come when the sun won't shine and time it'll stand still, and the rain, it just won't fall at all. And your car just stalled. What's next? There's no more contact with your friends and family via text. And them emails, they failed to reach city to city. There's no more electricity. Simplicity is obsolete. And the sickness is at its thickest. Here's where we all need something to believe in. See, the atheists can't take it, and those pulpit pimps are really limping because their game was lame. Things ain't the same. There's no more clubs, no more shows, no late night. Oh, ain't that something? When your Mercedes-Benz means absolutely nothing. Only that your faith is misplaced. We say that we're trying to live, but none of us ever been alive. But in God, we just survive. And oh, how I'm satisfied with eating and breathing, but the world that demands so much more. Well, it's too late for amends. We all should have been trusting him. Oh, now you believe because you need, and the world ain't got nothing to offer. Now you're looking for miracle pillows to make the blow softer. Did you ever wonder where you was heading? If you didn't know, it's Armageddon, the end, period. And you can't stand it. Damn it! Lights out on this little planet. They said that the sky's the limit, but there's footprints on the moon, which tells me somebody knew that we were doomed. And it's coming soon, sooner than we think. That's why I had to hurry up, Lord, and write this poem before I ran out of ink. Hoping that the next civilization to find this message safe and not make the same mistakes. I tell them all, stay away from those computers and cell phones, because God never sent me a text, but I read his text, and the texture of his word is comforting like, wow, a savior in paraphrases like what I'm spitting was already written. God's message has been hidden, and religion, that's the cause of most wars, but we blamed him for the boundaries that we all created in the first place. So it really doesn't matter what line was crossed. We are all crisscrossed with crosses to bear. Jesus carried his, so if yours is heavy, why should I care? But it's that same type of thinking that got the lights of this world flickering. We, as people, will continue bickering until the lights go out. In peace.
Ooh, Mr. Wispers. Yes, sir. Thank you for those two powerful pieces. I'm looking at the chat. It has been on fire all night from every single poet, and you did not fail. Please tell everyone where we can find you, love.
You could definitely find me in the Black Love Poetry Series family. You can find me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on The Flame Within with my brother in rhyme, CEO himself, Aquil Ali. I'm on Facebook under Timothy Wispers. I'm on Instagram under Timothy Proctor, my government name. And I thank everyone for listening and being here. I'm so happy for being here. The blessings is phenomenal. So please join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on The Flame Within, and come get your ambitions and everything, and whatever it may be, just let it go right there, man. Ambition the Poet, I love you, man. You open my eyes to something. God bless y'all.
Yes, that was Mr. Wispers, this other half of the baritones of Blog Talk. He and CEO Aquil Ali will be live tomorrow on Black Love Poetry Series Network, The Flame Within, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to tune in so you can be welcomed at the barber shop.
Yes.
So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Aileen, thank you again for having me come aboard here. You know, I can't forget about you. You are a sweet soul, and I thank you for including me in this. God bless you.
Thank you. Love you all.
All right.
Well, tonight, thank you again to everybody who has been with us for Power of the Poets. We still have two poets to come through. I have the fortunate honor of announcing this gentleman coming to the mic now. I have been speaking with him in private, speaking with him in public. The man is just a phenomenal man. The gentleman or woman who is doing the mock-ups of the artwork and the magazine covers with his picture just makes him stand out and just gives him all the attention that is due. This is an intellectual poet, a wordsmith, just like any other poets who have been here tonight. But this gentleman, he is very near and dear to my heart. I am very happy to welcome to the mic tonight, Mr. Elijah B. Pringle III.
Thank you so much. And I promise you the check will not bounce. You can get
You know I'm looking for it. Thank you, love.
I just want to thank all of you. I think that for me, this year has been a very fulfilling year with many challenges. And I'm glad that I have new friends in Aileen, as well as all the Black Love family. Everyone's there. And a special thank you to Ray, who continues to inspire and push me out there. I wanted to do something about hope. And one of the things that, there's two quotes I want to use. The first one is by Elliot Pearson, who stated, "We won because we vote and our ballots will be counted." How profane. And that is true. And then I think about what Doc Rivers said. It's amazing why we keep loving this country and this country does not love us back. And I like to do a piece called Sermon Induced by Brother Ray. When Ray sings, I close my eyes and my head reels back and I see the bent back arches of enslaved people in the heat as it beams. I hear the wails, the anguish, the wanting, the hoping, and the desire to reestablish and reaffirm our past to the present, more than just the product of denied heritage and manhood, but the new fruit of resiliency and collective strength. When Brother Ray hums and moans, I caress and massage my brow as each note reverberates and relieves and relieves and releases, cleansing and liberating and exalting me upward and free, remembering the past and forgetting the burden which created it. As he croons that the bone-crushed, blood-stained, inherited dreams are not inane illusions, but are visions that cannot be reframed. When Ray chants, America, sweet America, I think, therefore I am, even though my struggle is trivialized and ignored. But you see, Brother Ray sings and echoes and illuminates and jubilant psalms. God shares his grace on thee. And I postulate and testify that for each time a sickle was raised and a cane of salt fell to the earth, every time a back arch and to pick in a cotton field of endless clouds, the times our dreams was denied and buried in the harsh terrain, all the times that the promise of access was exceeded by unwillingness. A better days are coming. And I believe because when Brother Ray sings, my heart flutters, my eyes glisten, and I swallow with great difficulty and take to heart the beautiful dream that seemingly got lost on the way was never misplaced. As we sang an ode to beauty, an ode of beauty. Oh, beautiful, for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self thy country love, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, to all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Thank you.
Yes, we got the Songbirds in the house tonight with Karen Shipp and Mr. Elijah Pringle. Love the rendition. And of course, like I said, that intellectual, I just gravitate towards y'all intellectual poets. It's just something about y'all that just captivates. It's a whole conversation inside that poem. Did you have a second piece for us, Mr. Pringle?
I will rapidly read a second piece that I have. This is also from something that Aileen helped me with. It's self-portrait. I am from Thistory. A little play on history, but Thistory. I am from the unknown West African village that is as elusive as Atlantis and as mythical as Brigadoon. I am from the strength of unknown passenger who survived the voyage in the belly of Jonah's whale. I am from the dreams of minds that could not be enslaved. I am from the mind's dreams that could not be enslaved. I am from the mind dreams of that which could not be slaves. I am from the ones who accept names forced upon them, yet carry them with more dignity than the original owners. I am from the kinsmen who still play drums and search valiantly for their tongues in the mouths of other people. I am from the embrace. I am from the burning desire. I am from the embrace of the burning desire. I am from the soil now called South Carolina, soil now called Tobago, soil that was already here. I am from the unmeasured joys, unbridled anxieties of freedom. Yes, up jumped the Holy Spirit, let the rocks cry out, our confirmation of survival. I am from the remains of the great spirit force west. I am from the late night moving and hoping and praying. I am from the pride of not sharing the crop, but owning the land. I am from the sand-packed, under-nail laborers and candle-burning learners who found strength in their accents. I am from Pentecostal, Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, praising God and pleading at the same time. I am from the breasts that would nourish and those who beat them. I am from the heart of Eve. I am from the loins of Noah, the son of Ham, or so they say. I am from never give up. Yes, the fifth pregnancy is a son that survived. I am from those who walked gentle around mortification, tiptoed by nooses and slings while collecting arrows. I am from the father who owed his children and paid the wages willingly, instilling in them a debt to their children. I am from a mother that flows like the river. I am from my own self-discovery fueled by my ignorance. I am from the drum that could not be silenced.
Thank you for that second piece and those drum beats. Elijah, if you don't mind, please let everybody know where we can find you.
I'm being forced to come out of hiding, so I'll be on Facebook with Adrian Batista on Thursday with an interview. And I've been doing a lot of interview and reviews and stuff like that. And like I said, I know that there's a part of Raymond Tyler who's probably has this "I told you so" look, because if anyone has forced me out of hiding, I think he's one of several people, but he's been crucial in saying "get up." So Tyler, I guess we're going to have a pair of black asses getting up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, love. We appreciate you being here, of course. We have had a phenomenal evening, and to round it out, we must be respectful and go ahead and bring back in Mr. Aquil Ali. Everyone else has had two pieces tonight that we have heard all the wonderful poetry. Mr. Ali only gave us one piece, so I will be remiss not to give him that second piece. Mr. Ali, CEO, the mic is yours. No, unfortunately, I don't hear you. Oh. All right. We don't know what's going on with the technical difficulties, but of course, again, find Mr. Ali, CEO, with Mr. Wispers tomorrow at 9 p.m. where you can hear both baritones of Blog Talk go ahead and entice your mind at the flame within. Aileen, I appreciate you for having us here, the Black Love Poetry Series family. Thank you for allowing me to be your co-host at Power to the Poets. And always, you know, we have your back. So whenever you call, we will be here for you and with you. Thank you to all the poets tonight for allowing us to share in this family moment. And for each and everyone who is here watching us on Facebook, have a blessed and safe evening from Black Love Poetry Series and Power to the Poets.
Thank you so much to everyone for joining us this evening. Thank you so much to my sister, Poetess April J. Armstrong of Black Love Poetry Series for being such a phenomenal co-host. Thank you, Ray, who has been with me from the start of the Power to the Poets series. Again, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to all the amazing voices we heard this evening. Karen, Bryant, Shipp, Councilmember-elect Tiffany Grimsley, Aquil Ali, Bernard Collins, Cole, Larry Eubanks, Ambition, the poet Harper, Raymond Tyler, Timothy Wispers, Elijah Pringle III. There is a lot of work to be done, but I cannot think of people I'd rather be on this journey with than all of you. Good night, everyone, and more power to all of you. And I will end the live stream. Thank you.
Awesome.
Come on, right there.
Now we can hear you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Aileen, you are awesome. You are powerful. I'm so glad to call you sister.
Yes.
And I'm a selfish brother. I just like want to keep you to myself, and then the world has to know how wonderful you are.
Too late.
As I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, you are what a poet laureate should be. I have not seen anyone take their designation as a laureate and done the things you have done. I'm almost ashamed when I say I know other poet laureates, because I keep telling, I say, guys, what Aileen is doing is what a poet laureate should be doing. So I just want to say thank you once again. You're awesome. And Aquil, you know, keep on going, bro. I mean, I'm waiting for you to be publicly traded, and then I'll be happy.
Well, thank you for inviting me and allowing me to be here. I'm so inspired. I like to write, but I realized tonight I am not a poet. But it was incredible. It was an incredible experience.
And I beg to disagree. You are a poet. Yeah. It's so weird because my nephew is sitting in the room. He's writing feverishly, because sometimes when you hear great poetry, and tonight was a lot of great poetry, it just inspires you to write more. So I want to thank you all, because I'm actually working on a couple pieces that came out of tonight as well. Good. So I'm loving it.
Well, tonight we just have the most powerful voices. I am just amazed. Thank you so much to all of you.
Everybody, I'm so inspired. I don't know. I might write for the rest of the night. I might just write till tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
Shout out to Brother Cole. We got the same barber, brother. Yeah.
Cole was amazing tonight. I almost wanted to punch him when he's like going, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. And then he comes out with guns blazing.
Right.
I was like going, no, he's not going to do this to us. But it was amazing.
Thank you, April, you are amazing as a host. Man, you keep everything flowing. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, April, you are just phenomenal. I tell you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What she does.
Mr. Wispers, that last poem, that last piece, man.
Yeah.
Yo.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say, poetry tonight.
the first one too. Both of them, Mr. Wispers. Both of them are hot.
Well, he said Jesus had his cross to bear.
If Jesus carried his cross and yours is heavy, why should I care?
Can I have the same one? Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's stuck in my mind like yo.
Mine is that line before. Is the if you text this, the texture and the what did you say?
God never sent me a text, but I read his text, and the texture of his word is comforting.
Yes.
I'm done.
Yeah. Raymond,
Now,
keep
if that
honest
wasn't
in the time of
Pentecostal, nothing is.
Yeah.
That's very
hope.
Pentecostal.
Raymond, yo, you keeping people honest in a time of hope, man. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll see. Next week you'll be telling me I got to give Joe Biden a chance. In 6 months from now, you'll be telling me I got to give Joe Biden a chance. So,
wow.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you one thing for sure, man. Man, I feel like I learned something this cycle. As poets, we write on what we learn. You know what I mean?
indeed.
I feel like I learned something this cycle going around, man. I'm hearing a lot of wisdom coming out.
Pen sharpens pen, steel sharpens steel. When you get around like-minded individuals, that's the only thing that's going to happen. It's going to sharpen your pen and your resolve to keep writing and just be better.
Imagine what I go through being with this guy every day.
Yeah, between the two of them, I get about 3 new poems a day read to me.
I got you.
Yeah.
You keep me right.
Yeah, but I think we have some serious challenges. I think we have some serious challenges because the one thing that I was looking at when I was looking at the map, and I'm not saying we need to give up anything, but the one thing we have to understand is that I do not look at the 71 or 72 million that may have voted for Trump and say, what's wrong with them? I look at them and I say, my God, how despaired are they? How discouraged are they? How disillusioned are they that they will willingly follow a charlatan? And they're fully aware that he's a charlatan. And my thing is that we have 72 million people who believe that hope must be part of their hope has to be in the oppression of others. Because when you're oppressing someone else, you're not uplifting yourself. You're really staying at the same level.
Well, Elijah, I build on that and say that one thing people often say is, we always praise faith, right? And the description of faith is the evidence of things unseen, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to get in your mind that, like, the greatest thing is not faith, is love.
Absolutely. Love conquers all.
You have faith in so many things during the day. You have faith that the train is going to come when it's supposed to take you there. You got faith when the airline pilot ain't just going to drive your plane into the water. You got faith that the dog got faith that you're going to put food in his bowl. But
love makes you do those things. Yeah.
Have love in it. That's something. So it's who mentioned that for real? I think it was Jimmy Carter being interviewed one time, and he alluded to something like this. You know what I mean? I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jimmy Carter, and it was Jimmy.
Habitat for the Humanities at 90 years old, fall down, hurt himself, and be back to work next week. Jimmy Carter.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to. And actually that's faith. Look, Donald Trump said some wild stuff. And people roll with it. They had the ultimate faith in this dude.
Yes,
you know what's their faith? Watch that documentary Nexium.
Yeah.
Nexium. Yeah, they had unshakable faith in that dude.
Right.
And he got 120 years in prison too.
Yeah.
So I'm contemplating and really digging with the whole love thing. Love is a beautiful, powerful thing. You know what I mean?
It's really strange. So all these people are supposed to be fundamentalists or Orthodox Christian, and they're not about love. I find it shocking. I mean, I don't find it shocking, but I find it disappointing. Let me not say I don't find it shocking. I just don't. I don't know. And like I said, my thing about it is, you're right. Raymond's right. These young people keep me going.
That's not their agenda.
Yeah.
To be looking at love.
Yeah.
So now comes the time we have him in office. We're excited he's in office, but I have to be honest. Now's the time to hold him accountable for what he has on his platform. And he does that.
Amen.
No matter who it was to get into office, but I'm happy it's Biden. But it's still, I need you to stand on the principles that you let us know.
Yep.
I have to leave you all. I just want to say thank you again before I go.
Thank you so much.
I think a couple of us are leaving out.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Yeah, I think we
you all
better
again.
leave before we start a whole political discussion. And
Right, a
this
whole
is what I
new
want
show.
to do for a TV show. I want to have artists talk about politics.
And Tiffany,
Yes.
what's your email address? Because
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Yes.
respect everybody.
Miss
I'm about.
Tiffany, I'll be contacting you if you don't mind.
Absolutely, I love it.
Peace and blessings. Everybody, take care. And have a
Got
good
everybody.
day.
Y'all do the
Thank
same.
you.
Good job.
y'all
Thank
later.
you. Thank you, Aileen.
All right.
Thank you so
Take care,
much.
Ray, Bernard,
Whispers.
Elijah.
All right. Take
Thank you.
care.
Whispers, love your stuff, Mr. Whispers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Take care.
All
Bye,
right,
everyone.
take care now. Peace.
All right. I got you, Miss Grimsley. You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Aileen.
Thank you.
Anytime you need me, let me know.
Time. Until next time.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right, Aileen.
Good night.